Later on, Thomas, Alice, and Margaret were talking while More was putting bracken in the fireplace. They argued why More did not take the money he was offered from the church. More said that he couldn't because it would look like pay for his writings, and it could also be dangerous to write at a time like that as well. Master Cromwell and More were talking together, and Rich was taking notes on their conversation. Cromwell was pressing More about the woman, and then later told him that the king charged him with great ingratitude, and that there was never or never would be someone as villainous as him. While More was trying to get a boat home, Norfolk appeared, and they started to argue. Norfolk was telling More that he was behaving like a fool, and not like a gentleman at all. He was ultimately trying to get More to sign the oath. More would not agree to sign it, and decided to tell Norfolk that they could not be friends anymore. He told him this only because he wanted to protect his friend in the end from being persecuted for being friends with someone that denied the oath. Once their conversation ended, Norfolk left, and Margaret and Roper entered. Roper began to tell More about a new act that was being published about the marriage. Through the act, they were going to administer an oath under compulsion of treason. More asked if there was a copy of the bill. Roper said there would be in town, and they left to go read it. After a monologue from the common man, it was brought out that More had been in jail for a year. He was called to talk with Norfolk, Cromwell, Rich, and Cranmer. They talked to More about the oath of succession and whether or not he has seen it before. Cromwell asked if he would swear to it, and More said no. They tried their hardest to figure out why More wouldn't swear to the oath, and Cromwell said it must be because there was more in the act. More agreed to this and would not tell them what it was. Norfolk said that the reasons must have been treasonous, but More said they may have been, not must have been. Cromwell called the jailer to tell him that if he overheard More talking about the oath, he would have to report that information to the lieutenant. Cromwell then ordered Rich to remove the books of More in the morning. The jailer had awoken More to tell him that his family had arrived to visit him. Alice made a basket of food, and she brought it with her for him. Roper, out of nowhere, told More to swear to the act, and that the only reason they were allowed to visit was because Margaret was under oath to persuade him to swear to it. More told Roper to go buy him some time so they could all say goodbye to each other by him distracting the jailer. He managed to get them some time before the jailer picked up on what was happening and ended their goodbyes short. At the end of the play, More was brought over to the court where he heard his trial. Norfolk said that More was on charge of high treason. He told Cromwell to read the charges, and they stated that you did conspire traitorously and maliciously to deny and deprive our liege Lord Henry of his undoubted certain title, Supreme Head of the Church of England. More says he never denied the title, then asked why he was in court again. Norfolk said he was on charge of high treason, and Cromwell added by saying, which the punishment is not imprisonment, meaning he will be beheaded. Cromwell called on Rich, who had to swear on the Bible that everything he said would have been truthful. Cromwell asked Rich if when he took More's books, if they talked about the king's supremacy of the church. Rich said yes, and gave the words from their conversation that said, if Parliament made our king head of the church, why would More not accept him? More said it was because Parliament had not the competence. This ultimately shows that he denied the title. Norfolk said that the jury would retire to consider the evidence, but Cromwell interrupted and asked the foreman if it was necessary. He said it was not necessary, and Norfolk asked him what the verdict was. The foreman responded, saying Moore was guilty. Norfolk read the charge to Moore, stating he was found guilty of high treason and was off to be beheaded. Moore then walked over to the block, where he was greeted by the headsman, who proceeded to then behead Moore and hold up his head, saying, "Behold, the head of a traitor."